Welcome into another edition of Camp Dolphins All Access. These are becoming preseason editions, Goldie,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you wore the whole Mike McDaniel getup from the watch to the hoodie to the shades. We saw McDaniel today, a little animated after practice. What did you make of that huddle from what we saw?
Yeah, pretty interesting. They had some drops after yesterday. There were a bunch of interceptions. It's always funny in these practices when, if the offense is struggling, well, that means the defense did well. Yeah. So, and Mike McDaniel even said that yesterday, that it's kind of a mixed bag, a little bipolar, if you will. So, it's the dog days now. They played one preseason game. There's 2 more left. As we know, it is hot out here, and these guys are actually playing, not just hanging out and talking like we are. So I think that's a natural thing during training camp at times.
Right.
And, before camp started, McDaniel talked about putting it on the players to kind of police each other, if you will, through the adversity of training camp on days where there's no juice.
Right.
They got to give the guys juice, and I think he did a little bit of that today.
Yeah, and there was definitely juice on the field from what we saw. We saw Alec Ingold and Christian Wilkins mix it up today, and as we heard from players, whether it was Raheem Mostert or Tua or Robert Hunt, it says there was definite improvement from yesterday to today, and that's kind of where that fire was coming from McDaniel. Speaking of Tua, we just talked to him. He says he always wants to play. You're out there calling the games. Well, do you think we will see Tua make his preseason debut on Saturday?
I sure hope so. I hope everybody does. Now, that being said, they got, 2 days of practice with the Eagles here next week, and then another game. And that third game now, is still 2 weeks before the opener. I got to think at some point we see him, maybe even for a series. But, with injuries popping up and things that McDaniel says that he sees from him in practice, where last week he didn't feel that he had to play. Who knows which direction it goes in. I would think, though, at some point with this new offense and some new weapons, you probably want to get him a series or two in a game, I would think.
By the way, a little house cleaning note from today's practice. Jalen Waddle was out here, did not practice, but McDaniel said beforehand it's all precautionary. Didn't sound like anything too much to worry about. You might hear the construction in the back. That's,
always.
That's pretty apropos
it's
for
Mike
what's going on.
Cunio's new house from doing all this work. He's building a
Listen, they're not only building a facility here, they're building on the field, so we'll see what it looks like Saturday when the Dolphins play their second preseason game. For Steve Goldstein, I'm Mike Cunio, as always, for Camp Dolphins All Access.